Hey, what's up, gang? Ken here from the Retro Toy Escapades channel in Malaysia. I hope that everyone's doing good out there. Today on the channel, I'm taking a look at the Temple of Darkness Sorceress action figure from Masters of the Universe Origins. So hey, I hope that you guys are comfortably seated and relaxed. So let's get down to checking out the video. Now, this figure is a special edition release that is exclusively included with the purchase of the massive Castle Grayskull playset. So you buy this big playset toy and you get a free action figure. Now, there's a nice artwork portrait of the Sorceress on the box that shows off what the figure looks like. Inside the box, she just comes sealed in a plastic bag, okay? I sort of hope that we would get her carded instead, like even though it's a pack-in figure, that we would still get it included separately on a basic card back, like how we've been getting the other Origins figures so far. Of course, that's just wishful thinking, but I have seen that being done with some of the other toy lines, like Star Wars in the past, where even though it was a playset and it came with a free figure, yet the free figure, which was also an exclusive to that playset, was still on the standard card back that all Star Wars toys at the time were released on. Now, in fact, that would have been the Jabba's Palace Adventure set from 2019 that had two figures included, but those were also on the Vintage Collection card backs and they were included together in the playset box. Now, I have to say that for a figure that's based off something called the Temple of Darkness, this Sorceress sure is bright, okay? In fact, she's white, okay, like snow. I did review the Temple of Darkness mini comic that this figure is based off. Do check it out elsewhere on the channel. And I checked it out hoping for clues as to why the Sorceress is now in this all-white attire, thinking that something happens in the story that causes this wardrobe change. But it turns out that there was no connection between the setting of the story and her clothing switch. It was just an artistic interpretation of the character that was done just for that story alone. Yeah, sorry folks, there's no big conspiracy of any kind as to why the Sorceress is all white here. Now, this would be the first Sorceress figure that we're getting for the Origins line, so it is kind of a big deal. Of course, it's also interesting that we're getting her first in this exclusive outfit and not her standard uniform and colors. But that probably just means that they're going to release that version carded at some point later. Now, I gotta say that the original Sorceress figure from the 1980s was released very late in the line, and it has to be one of the hardest to find figures from that series. In fact, if you do see her loose and complete on an eBay listing, she's probably going to cost you upwards of like, I don't know, 100 USD. That's like 100 USD, okay? Now that is girl power right there. Now, the Sorceress has a somewhat young-looking face, okay? She seemed more mature in the classic cartoon, certainly old enough to have an adult daughter like Tila, okay? And then there was the fact that, she was in the 1987 Masters of the Universe motion picture, the live-action one, where she looked really old, okay? I mean, and, who knows how time works in her realm. She's probably immortal, okay? Now, her face sculpt is okay. I'm not super crazy about it, but, she looks alright. Actually, her expression is kind of blank, alright? It's just very calm and muted. But you just know, okay, that behind those eyes lies the power to bring down the entire power of the cosmos on her enemies, okay? Just to rain down the entire wrath of the cosmos on all of her enemies, shattering them completely. Shattering them! Now, since the figure is blanketed in the color white, there isn't really much detail here, but you do see some on her body here that looks like the design of feathers, much like bird feathers all around. And the rest of the figure basically looks like, every other MOTU female figure that we've had so far, right down to those unsightly looking knee joints. Okay, there's just no getting around those, all right? These still look like loose pieces of flesh that are hanging over the knee area. All right. It's just no escaping it, guys. You know, I mean, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. No. Now, the articulation on the figure is good. All of the joints feel very sturdy. Nothing feels loose. But pretty much, this has been the quality aspect across all of the MOTU figures so far. I've never really had anything like loose joints or joints that felt like they were going to break off or anything like that. Everything has always felt very sturdy. So, in that aspect, I think that this maintains the same high quality standards. I was expecting the movement of the head to be quite restrictive because of the large cowl that's on the back of a head, but surprisingly, it moves around very smoothly. All right, with almost no restriction, and you can get a couple of really good poses here. The cowl there looks like well, it's in the design of the Falcon Zoa, who the sorceress can also assume the form of, and it kind of looks like they slapped the entire head of the bird on her back there. You know, it's like the whole head of the bird's there. Now, on the back of the figure, we have her wings, and these actually come in three sections, and you can extend them out fully, all right, to assume this very bird-like form that she can also assume while still being in human form. Okay, so yeah, she has flight capability. She can take to the skies majestically, soaring across all of Eternia. Now, even though this is a free pack-in figure, they didn't shortchange us in the accessories department. She does come with one accessory, which is the staff, the Sorceress's staff. And this one has the design of the falcon. The whole thing, the whole design of the character is basically very bird-like. And yeah, actually, it could also be a dove. But yeah, it's supposed to be a falcon. And the staff is very sturdy as well, right? It feels very nice and firm, right? It doesn't feel cheap at all. Now, the sorceress does have two open hands, all right, two open fists, so you can actually place the staff in either one of the hands, all right, left or right. And once she's all geared up, I mean, I gotta say that the final look is pretty good. All right, it is pretty good, despite some of my complaints about some of the other aspects of the figure. Overall, this is a really great addition, I would say, especially since you're getting it free. I mean, you paid like 100 USD for the castle, and now you're getting a free figure that actually feels like a legitimate figure. All right, and she does look good, I gotta say. All right, all geared up and ready to protect the whole planet. A number of ways that you can have the sorceress interact with Castle Grayskull. You could have her man the gun turrets so she can take out evil falcons like Screech. You could also have her ride the elevator up and down just for fun. I mean, she can fly, but riding the elevator is just so much more fun. Then you could also have her staring out at the large monitor here, just staring at all the planets in space. And sometimes if she wants to, she could also press things at the console, like deet, 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 just press things there. She could also try out her own trapdoor. Lastly, after a hard day of defending the planet, you could just have her reclining comfortably at the throne. Just reclining and thinking, contemplating, wondering to herself, why doesn't He-Man visit me anymore? He comes by lesser and lesser these days. Maybe I should try to entice him with more powers that I would give him for free. Yes, just like the way that I gave him the Thunder Punch power and also the power of the Flying Fists. Yes, I will entice him with more gifts so that he will come to visit me and we could sit down and we could have tea and, just pass the time by, talking about things that are happening in our lives. That would be wonderful. I'm so lonely sometimes, I just need some company. So yes, I will find a way to bring He-Man here, and then he can stay with me forever and ever and ever. Actually, if you position the figure just right, it does look like it's an all-white version of the Falcon Zoa taking flight. Hello! Okay, so that's the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And do leave your comments below to let me know what you thought of it. And if you have any thoughts for what you want to see in my next video. Now, of course, do stay subscribed to the channel. I need all the support I can get from you guys to keep this thing moving straight to the stars. Take care, guys. I'll catch all of you again real soon.